Cool.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the 8 a.m. Mentorship Academy. You are very welcome here. Today is Wednesday. As you know, on Wednesdays, we talk about parenting and coupling it with entrepreneurship, and we have such a special guest. But before we get into it, I'd like to just welcome everybody back. Those ones that watch the recordings afterwards, you're also welcome. On Mondays, we have Revota. He's exceptional in how he's been talking about bootstrapping, and it's been exactly what Digi Business has been going through. So I make sure I'm tuning in, and I watched from my LinkedIn. And then on Tuesdays, we have Dr. Sunshine, who is not only my mother, but she's also my mentor and a board member. She's amazing, and she's been pushing me. Even when I feel like I know something, she's like, well, you don't know. I've been in business for 30 years. So just make sure that you follow what I'm saying. Of course, we can have conversations here and there, but I have your best interests at heart. So I love my mentor and my mom. She's amazing, and she comes on Tuesdays. This Tuesday, we had Muvanga come through. She just graduated, and it was amazing. And I hope you were watching and looking at the smarter goals and how you make it smarter. And then on Wednesdays, we have myself, and you are welcome. Today is Wednesday. Every Wednesday, consistently, we are here to support not only moms, but dads as well. We are all mompreneurs, coined. And then we have on Thursday, we have Dr. Nelly, who is a powerhouse. She's a mentor, and she's so amazing in everything that she talks about, and how she marries spirituality to everything, whether it's the boardroom, the bedroom. It's amazing. And then on Fridays, we have health, and we all know that health is wealth. So we have Friday health series that has been going on. So you are very welcome to today, mompreneurs. To those that have, the following has grown, and I'm thankful. It's not by accident that you find yourself here. It's because, we need to hold each other's hands. We need, parenting is not easy, and entrepreneurship is also not easy. So we are very welcome, and I love you all, and thank you so, so much. So today I'm going to start off by saying we have a special guest, and our special guest is none other than Revota Mwambazi. He's been someone who's been holding my hand for the longest, and he says, okay, come on to the show. Even before, when it was on Hot FM, he would say, come on, and he's been instrumental in me winning awards. So this is the second award that I'm winning, and I would like to share with him that, I can always feel him in the background, just saying, no, keep going, keep going, keep going. Life and entrepreneurship is hard, but entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It's for the brave, those ones who are willing to jump off the cliff with a bag and hope that it's not a backpack, hope that it's a parachute. So that is entrepreneurship. You can jump off and you're like, it was a backpack. I'm dead. Yes. But yeah, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It's for the brave. So I'd just like to say thank you for the giants on whose shoulders I stand on, and I don't take it lightly. Revota, Sunshine, Dr. Sylvia B. Mwansa, and Dr. Nelly. I thank you, and they're going to usher me on to being deliberate with actually bringing on people, with mentoring people and creating an impact. So thank you so much. Revota, I'll just have you just introduce. I don't even think an introduction is necessary at this point. No, but
everybody knows us.
Everybody knows.
No, thank you so much, Sampa, for the opportunity. Here I am. And of course, Dr. Sunshine, for the great work that she's been doing through you. And by the way, congratulations for that award that you picked up from the WEAC platform last week. WEAC is a place where I should have been actually there, but I could not make it on Thursday and Friday. I had so many other engagements, and there were mini crisis going on my end, but I'm so appreciative to WEAC, what they've done. They've been running with that program for, I think, 14 or 15 years, if I'm not wrong, because WEAC began in Chawama And I know all the facilitators, including Namvule, the ED, and all the different guys, Doubt, you name them. It's such a Patrick and just the whole team. I mean, those are practically family. And I was so proud to hear that you were part of the alumni that were being awarded. I mean, absolutely overjoyed because there are many, many businesses that those guys have worked with. I mean, we know that we actually supported through the American State Department. I don't know what the funding looks like now, but I know the State Department has been working very hard to help them through these entrepreneurial incubator programs, and they bring us in as volunteers. And so to learn that you got your thing, I was very happy. I said, this is awesome. And I know your mom has also been a facilitator, because of the work she does. So we both do this work and definitely have been able to be inducted. But so congratulations for that, Sampa.
Thank you so much. It's always nice when the child in the house, you don't know that they're applying for these things, and then you come and hear, no, they were exceptional in their own light, and they actually got an award. It's like, okay, let me try and do this without people knowing. And then even when afterwards there was a cocktail, that was a coffee hour actually, that was had, and when I said, oh, this is my mother, then everybody's light bulbs, you should have seen their eyes. They're like, oh, no wonder. No wonder she's like this. So yeah, I think it's always nice when people come through and realize, okay, she's like this because she comes from giants such as yourselves,
Mm-hmm. Indeed. I mean, I'm honored actually to even be part of your. Sorry, I'm trying to do something here. Just apologies. There's feedback and trying to make sure the sound is not there, and I'm trying to mute, but nothing seems to be working. It's still an echo. Sorry. Technology. So bear with me.
Part of resilience.
Yeah.
It's part of resilience and moving on.
Nothing is trying to get rid of this, and nothing is working. One of those days. Anyway, so glad to be here and looking forward to be able to share. Please, let's get started with your questions as I'm getting rid of this echo. Bear with me.
Okay. So my first question is, we always start from somewhere. For those ones who may not have mentors or access to mentors, what was your first burning platform? What caused you to become who you are? Because I believe I'm in the process of becoming, right? I haven't yet become. I'm in the process of becoming, and a lot of people come to me and say, "Oh, can you be our mentor?" And I said, "I'm still being cooked. I'm still being mentored." So I'm not quite sure. So I'm always very deliberate to say, okay, we can learn together, because I'm not yet at that mentor stage, but I am not also at the entry mentee stage. I'm like right in the middle. I'm right in the middle where I'm like, I can either be a mentee, I can be a mentor. But for me, when it's time to become a fully fledged mentor, I want to tell people, okay, this is how you become. So I would like from someone like you who's already there, who's already become who you are, what were the first steps that you took to get there?
Very, very good. So first and foremost, I have a sales background. So that sales background, confirm if you can hear an echo from your end, because if you can,
yes, there's a bit of an echo here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so first things first, I'm working on the background trying to kill it. So first things first, I was, okay, just a minute. Yeah, this is terrible. Just give me a second. How do I make this work? I'm trying to mute. I've been trying to mute since we started, and it's not working. I don't know why I can't get rid of the main volume, yet it's supposed to be down at 0. Okay, so I began with sales. I have a sales background actually. Okay, now I'm going to close this. So I have a sales background, and with my sales background, I that's where I started from. I mean, I used to be a debater at school and did extremely well with it up to national level. But beyond that, when I went to the UK, that's when I learned that I have a knack for sales. So I did extremely well in sales back then. And then when I was done with my sales there, then I moved into network marketing. And I will be very honest with you, Samba, that my skills, my lessons, what I'm doing today, I learned it from network marketing. I became a network marketer, and the first company I ever joined back then was called Clean Easy. Then when I came to Zambia, the one that really for me taught me everything I know was TNs, because with TNs, network marketing, when the gurus say that if you want to get a crash course in how to run a business, 100% it's network marketing. Network marketing will teach you how to manage people. It will teach you how to deal with crisis and all manner of issues. There is no other business platform more powerful, as far as I'm concerned, in teaching us how exactly to manage these businesses than network marketing itself. So I was able to learn everything there is, because in network marketing, if you're running teams, you have to learn how to manage the teams. You have to learn how to motivate, encourage people. You have to learn how to prospect for new people, bring them in, then how to manage crisis, because in our industry, there's so much crisis all the time, especially the larger your team is. People are quarreling, people don't get along, people are complaining issues. So you start learning how to manage all that. And in the process, I'm telling you, Sampa, your teeth are cut nicely. So by the time I was done with network marketing, I had to create a lot of programs to train people, because yes, the company does do training. But I'll be very honest, training that comes from the company and training that comes from network leaders are different, because the network leader is dealing with their people directly. So there's that connection. And many times you have to orient people, you have to guide people, you have to handhold people. So it really becomes part of your business, and you start to really learn just how to navigate that space. So I credit, and I'll never stop doing it, I credit what I am today 100% to network marketing. So that's what really gave me the impetus. Now, interestingly, you talked about how we've been an inspiration to you. Let me tell you one of many, because there are many that God will bring in your path. So one individual that is since now passed on, Galamkani. I remember in 2010, I hadn't yet launched out. I had all these fears. I had imposter syndrome, especially imposter syndrome. I mean, that concept of imposter syndrome for me was real. And I was so unsure about whether what I'm doing is genuine. I felt fake and all those things. So I remember bumping into, and he never even remembered it, because I was telling him about it and he said, "Hey, I can't even remember." That's how funny life is. So I bump into Galamkani. I'm coming from Smooth Talk. And so and he also happened to be on Smooth Talk. So I wait. He said, "Wait for him, Fana. Wait for him. I'm not Fana. Wait for him, that to Choki Pramos." So I waited for him. He did his segment on Smooth Talk. Then we walked out. Now, when we walked out, we had one of those. I'm sure you've had many of these, but one of those where you go outside, and then now it becomes a mini meeting, just the two of you talking, and before you know it, 1 hour is done. You know those, huh? Like it can be a phone.
Very well.
Yeah, so that's what ended up happening. And at that particular thing, there's some things that Galamkani said to me, and he closed with a statement that hit home. He told me, "Rev, I've been listening to you. I've listened to your Christian voice. I've listened to stuff you drop on this Smooth Talk, and I've been hearing you on QFM those days. I used to be on QFM." And he says, "And you know what? The stuff you drop is deep. Let me tell you, even I go, okay, that by substance. And you know what? I think it's time you launch." Then I said, "Like, launching, you need to make sure certain things are in place. You don't want to go out there and people are like, the motivation speaker, that kind of thing. You want to make sure that you put things in order." Then he told me, Ivovama, getting things in order and getting ready. It's very much thicker. It's a myth. Let me tell you, my brother, when you have the substance, what matters is the substance within. Once you have the substance, the best way to start is just to start. I've never forgotten those words. He said, just go, throw yourself out there and get started. And from then it actually became an anthem for me, because then when I remember in one of my trainings, I gave the illustration of Effort Chalala, and it stuck with me since, because Effort Chalala apparently used to, one of our former fallen heroes in the football circles. He was a goalie, Zambia's leading goalie, and he apparently had a challenge with seeing in the night. So when they would have the floodlights and stuff, they said that Effort Chalala couldn't see. But yet he used to catch quite a number of balls. So one time they asked him on an interview. Can't remember who asked him, but they asked him. They say, so effort. How do you manage? I think it was Master Chilemena who asked him. How do you manage to catch all those balls, considering that, the rumor out there is that you don't see in the night. So how are you managing to do it? And then, he says a word which has become an anthem for me. He said, the posa mofie. I love that. I love that statement, Samba. Posa mofie. Just throw yourself and think it's over. And you know what? That's how life is, Samba, because you will never be ready.
Never.
One of the most powerful statements I heard recently, which has been a blessing to me, has been the statement that when your break comes, because everybody gets that one big break in life, every one of us, believe me, no matter how long it takes, if you're on the ground, if you're doing whatever it takes, some people, maybe they're not even on the ground, it doesn't really matter. But as long as you're doing whatever it takes, there's always that one break that comes. So when that break comes, Sampa, it will either reveal you or expose you. One of the two. That's why for people like us, you must always live ready, because you don't know where your break is coming. And when it does come, you want to hit that ground running. And then, when people start to dig into you, you just go deeper and deeper. And they find there's just substance. Like no matter how deep they open you up, there's just more substance in there. And that shows the genuineness of what you're doing. Unlike a situation where you have a lot of people who are truly imposters, because yes, they get the break, but there's no substance. And I'm sure you've seen, one viral video, everybody's excited about the person, they start following them, but you realize there's no substance. This person doesn't have any depth to them. So they fall off by the wayside. And then there are others, one break, and they take off into the stratosphere. And why? Because they have substance. Anyway, let me not say much. You know me. I have one question and I can go on and on. Back to you, Sam.
No, it's brilliant. Because it goes back to what entrepreneurship is, right? It's about just jumping and hoping that what you're doing is correct, which is what you're alluding to. It's about having the conviction to say what I am doing is going to work. What I'm doing will work. So it's very important to have conviction within yourself, so that conviction then gives birth to so many things. But if, like you're saying, that's why you have the notion to say one hit wonder, right? It's not about, you just put out something and then you don't even know. It's like you throw seeds out and you hope that one works. But then with entrepreneurship, you throw out that one seed and you know that this seed is of quality and I'm going to water it to make sure that it grows. That's what entrepreneurship is. And that's what even network marketing is. I love that you said sales and network marketing, because network marketing is nurturing your network so that it produces. It produces you. It's like now I'm a field manager at Sanlam, right? And then at Sanlam, it's what I've decided, the strategy that I've decided to employ is very similar to network marketing, because I'm leveraging on my networks to then bring in the cases, because I'm in affluent, I'm in high net worth individuals. So there's a minimum. So it's not like mass market where you go out there and then you just throw seeds and hope someone catches one seed. In affluent and high net worth, it takes a bit longer to close the deals, because you have set a minimum. You've set a minimum to say, okay, the minimum is 1,500 kwacha worth of deals per month, right? So you nurture the relationship so that someone exchanges the value that you're providing with the 1.5 or more. So I've had quite a few clients that have come on board already, and are paying more than 1,500 because of the network and because of the relationship that I've created. Whereas it's easier to close 1,500,000 kwacha deals, but that's not what they're looking for. They're not looking for 1,500,000 kwacha deals. They are looking for quality. They are looking for quality deals where when you sign someone up, they won't fall off after 3 months. They won't fall off after 6 months. So you're nurturing that relationship so that you can then make sure that you are bringing in quality deals. So that's what it is. So it's I love the fact that, when they say where two or more are gathered, God is there. So because we're in unison of thought, God is already here. And where I am now today, it's because of the grace of God. Other people going through what I've gone through, many people have killed themselves for less, right?
Yeah.
They've for a quarter of what I've been through, people haven't managed. But the burden that I've carried and said, I am going to shoulder this burden and carry it on my back. And now it's getting off my back because I've chosen to go through the process. And that's what entrepreneurship is. That's why they say it's not for everyone. I've decided my first pregnancy, I lost it. I went full term, delivered, I had a stillbirth, and then now I have 3 beautiful, thriving babies who are so intelligent. So I always share with my networks to say, I am someone who, where I am today, has come with its own lessons. It's come with its own turmoil. It's come with its own failures. So you can't get to success without passing through failures. It's how we fall forward. Like Dr. Sylvia Bimwansa always says, you need to fall forward. And this is why I feel I was even given an award by WEAC, is because I've shown my resilience. I went to the interview with my baby in a basket. I said, I am not going to let I'm not going to let this be an obstacle. She will be my amen. She will actually be my good luck charm to be chosen to participate. Yeah. And I participated fully, 100%, 90% were the marks that I was getting. And I got my certificate and I said, I am going to show that you can do this even in the midst of obstacles, even in the midst of failures, in the lack of time. You have to distribute your time. So this is, it's something which I wasn't even expecting it. My friends just said, no, we had to nominate you. And I was like, my heart was I just felt so great. I said, oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, so this is something which has been so great. So now, can you tell us one moment, Rev, that just made your heart melt and say, okay, I'm on the right path?
That's a bit of a tough question. I've never thought about it, and the reason is because there's been so many moments. So that's a tough question. I'm actually, you've got me there. I am a bit stuck because, well, I guess the only time you really kind of get encouraged is when people come to you and testify of how much you've been such a help to them. I get people messaging me and saying, when you started doing this or when you started doing that, I learned this and I was able to learn that and I was able to bless like this. So I guess those are the times when you go, wow, I didn't realize, because sometimes you feel like what you're doing doesn't really account to much or it doesn't really make an impact. But it's only when you go out there that's when you realize, and I'll give you, in fact, now that you've asked, now it's hit home. There is one individual that got in touch with me. I always had these people that would ask, Rev, are you not going to say something? Oh, Rev, are you not going to say something? Oh, Rev, you need to say something about this. Oh, Rev, this thing is not right. You need to say something. I always get asked that question. And for the longest of times, I used to be a bit evasive about saying something. Until one person one time told me, Reverend, I understand you don't run a church. I know you've kind of stayed outside that circle in as far as your so-called ministry is concerned, but you have earned the power to be a voice. And that really hit home, Sampa, because I was like, really? So yes, you are now a legitimate voice in the country. So when they say, this is some years back, maybe 3-4 years ago, when they say that, I said, oh, really? Okay. So now when I realized that I am a voice, then I really started to be a bit more deliberate with what I say. And for sure, I mean that on my profile, the last it says social influencer. That's not just there to sound nice.
Can I even disturb you? Can I even disturb you? Yes. You have been so good and so great, and you've got very few minutes. Why you are there is because you are a danpreneur. And we want people to hear. We want people to hear how you've made it. Juggling your work, and being a mom to the kids when your wife has not been around. And I think that is what qualifies you to be on mompreneurs. Okay.
Yes. I think you were supposed to ask that early. So here's the thing. So first of all, that's how I realized I'm a voice. I can be a voice and I can speak and be an influence. But that I think melted my heart. It answers your question. But let's talk about dadpreneurship. Yes, dadpreneurship for me has been very interesting because you see, over the last 2+ years, my wife has been away. She did come briefly for our daughter's wedding, but then she went back. So she had first gone in March of 2023, if I'm not wrong, and then came back in August and then left in October of 2023. So she's been away over a year. We're going to be clocking 2 years very soon to 1 year, 11 months and counting. And I tell you, my daughter got married, so she left because I have 2 older daughters by marriage. So so one of them got married and left the home. I was like, oh my, there goes. And then because she was such a right-hand person, if you know what I mean, with the kids. But she got married, so she had to go and be with her husband. And then I've got another daughter. She also took off and went and, she's now working and doing her thing and a manager somewhere. So she's gone. So I remained alone. And that's when it dawned on me, okay, so all those morning programs. I mean, that's how this thing ended up being moved to 8 a.m. Because I was actually telling Dr. Sunshine that, look, 7:30 will not work anymore because I'm doing the whole morning run around thing with the kids. And it starts with me preparing their meals and, so I really got the hang of it. Took me a while to kind of get the hang of that. Like I said, gee, these women, like how does she pull this off?
It is quite hard work, and this is why I was saying that you need to have grace. It's like there was a lesson where Dr. Sunshine was like, oh no, sometimes I find Sampa in her pajamas. I'm like, yes, I've earned the right to be in my pajamas because in the morning I'll get the kids ready. I'll have to wake up at 5, prepare their lunch box, and I'm a very hands-on mom. Prepare their lunch box, prepare their what are they going to eat at lunch, what are they going to wear in the morning, cover their books. It's a lot.
I mean? And so for me, you can imagine, I do all of what you're saying, and then me, I'm a sucker. When I wake up, I cannot start any program minus going through my morning rituals. So that is prayers, that includes bathing and getting ready. I've just got this thing where I don't, even if I work from home, everybody knows me. I'm like super dressed. Like I'm ready, like anytime I can, if you call me and say, hey, we need to go for an interview, I'll just put on my shoes and be on the way because I'm already, everything is set and I have to do, and so because of the kids, I have to do all of that way earlier so that by the time I start, wake up guys, like 5 times, wake up! It's like whilst they're doing all of that, then I'm like done with their breakfast stuff. I've got the breakfast for them to eat. I've got the breakfast, the stuff for their break, the drinks, the juice, the puffs, the biscuits, you name it, the sandwiches, the fruits, whatever. So I've got a very for the other day, apparently I posted this on social media. I did because I looked at all the stuff that I prepared and I took a photo and wrote about sacred duty and all that. Apparently I put a number of fathers into trouble, but it wasn't intended that way. I was just saying, look, I find it's amazing that these kids and then take them off to school, then come back and get started with our programs. It's insane. Whether we're doing this recording or whatever, I've done all that. Then by the time they come back in the evening, their meals, whatever. But thank God, I'm very, very fortunate, very blessed that we have a very good helper also. I've never been one before. I've never been one for the living helper thing. I just find it so uncomfortable. So I don't have a living. So she has to come in super early. Well, she tries, but it's not easy. So she's here by 7:30. So that's why I've done everything by the time she's coming. But she does stay on until they have their dinner and everything. So I do give her transport, and it's a bit of a substantial amount. But you know what? She lives far. And personally, I just, the few times that she used to do the walking, she'd get here late, and from where she is to here, over 2 hours of walking. So I used to think 4 hours of walking. No, that's not right. I'll just have to make sure it's going to come from her salary. I'm just going to add, substantial transport so that she's able to go nicely, come nicely without any stress, and that's what she does. So that one is good, and it's ironic. Ironic because what used to do is when I used to come from the radio show, which was super late, I would book a Yango to go. But I noticed, interestingly, that she'd be like, no, I don't need the Yango, just give me this. Okay, fine, whatever. As long as she has a transport and she can go and come and she'll be on time and she leaves a bit late. The kids, the single mom. So I feel it for her, and I try my best to be to have as much empathy as possible as an employer. So when on holidays, what I do, my kids go to my sister's place, and then I give her days off. I say, I'm alone here, so no biggie. You come every other day. And I don't, and even if she comes every other day, that doesn't mean I cut her salary. No. Yeah. I feel these people, it's really rough, whatever they're going through. For me, I feel we need to pay them adequately. They are such right-hand people in homes. You imagine homes without these helpers. I can't even imagine what they'd be like, So we pay as much as possible. I even stopped saying what I pay because I noticed it caused a lot of problems at one point on social media. You pay yourself so much money. So much, So I don't mention anymore. But I just feel they are humans. Say again.
I'm saying, and I think you valued your nanny because you are a mompreneur.
Yes.
From others looking from the outside looking in, it seems like, oh no, you're paying them too much. But then that this has become so much a part of you, such that you create a relationship with that person that they rescue you in situations where ideally you would not manage at all. So running a business, being a mom, it's a lot of work. So when you find that one person who understands your routine, you can even pay them 10,000 because they're solving a problem. You see, so
absolutely because on that one, Sampa, you're so right. Because remember, the kids also become attached to these people. They become second mothers in the home. And one of the advantages, I'm very glad, is that because of the work I do, I work from home. So I'm able to do so much of the work from home. Usually maybe once or twice weekly, then I'll go and meet clients physically because there are those who want to be met and all that. But I've got a full-fledged setup at home as far as my studio is concerned, as far as the office is concerned. So I can pretty much accomplish all the work I need from here. One of the biggest pluses about that is that I've been able to be present with these kids because, I tell you, as these kids are transitioning from adolescence into teenage, there's like a minefield of things that go on. And being present, you're able to catch some of these things. I am so grateful because I'm telling you, some of the big disasters that happen in some of these homes is because parents are absent. I'm not blaming the parents because these days you find mom working, dad working. The only person home is the maid. The helper is the one who becomes kind of like, but the helpers are limited, to be honest. They are very limited to what they can do, especially from a disciplinary standpoint. That needs a parent. So when you are present, you are able to see. So that's why I say personally that when you become a parent, when you become a husband, a wife, you just have to give up a good chunk of your social life because work already eats up too much of our time. So whatever other time you can get, you really want to be around those kids. But imagine for us, what that means is very complicated because of the businesses we do. But you can't run away from it. That's why I admire fathers or mothers who will carry their kids with them to some of their setups, so that at least you're with them. Yes, you're working, but you see them.
That's me.
You can hear them. You can tell what they're doing. If somebody says something wrong, you're like, hey, don't use such language. No. Bad manners, So you're nipping stuff in the bud. You know what I mean? Unlike a day where you're not present, and then one day these kids just drop bombs. Like, is that my kid? Oh my God, when did that? But you were not present, so you didn't see some of these things when they were happening. But you see how interesting this topic is. We've even run out of time. Maybe we'll have to do part 2 next week.
Part 2, yes. Yeah, so, so
you can wrap it up.
Okay, so you see, being a mompreneur is not just limited to a gender. You know, it's not limited to you being a female. You can be a mompreneur and be a dad. It's that commitment that you're making towards running your family effectively and also running your business. So like Dr. Rev Water is here today telling us that he's had to now step into the role of a mom, right? Ideally, these are things, the nurturing part of it is something that ideally is done by the mother, the female in the home. But what he's done now is stepped into that, and him being an entrepreneur earns him the right to be a mompreneur. And this is why he's been here today on this platform, showing that there's dads out there who are wearing the hat of a mom. And this is commendable because, you know, it's very rare, especially in our African setting, that you get someone who understands fully that you need to get ready before the babies get ready, because some will get the babies ready, then now it's time to get ready. By the time you're done getting ready, the baby is dirty. So you have to get yourself ready first. Once you get yourself ready first, then you get them ready, and then you leave the house. So it's that's what it is. So you can't do that without being in that mindset.
I know we're closing, but one part I find out in the morning. Where's your? Did you carry this? Did you do that? Did you finish this? Did you? Where's that? Where's this? Where's that? Like that's the topic every morning. Where did you carry your homework? Your homework. Where are your pencils? Oh, pencils. My kids are just insane, eh? You know, where's this? Where's that? Pack it all and then off you go. Insane, crazy stuff. I find that very amusing, actually.
It is. So thank you so much. And I hope this has been enlightening for everyone as much as it's been enlightening for me as well. You know, I love talking to Rev Water always because he's got such a wealth of knowledge. So I think we can do part 2. Maybe.
Yeah. Yes, I wouldn't mind. Yeah. So that we go straight into how I've been juggling these two. You know, especially because for me, I'm a speaker as well. I do facilitation outside, you know, out of town. How do I manage those in view of the fact that I'm alone with these kids here, blah, 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 and balance it all up nicely. So yeah, it would be very nice to give those insights. I'm happy to do so for the sake of other dads out there who may feel, no, that's just for the mother. I think, to be honest, I think mothers do so much, but thankfully there are many men there who are very sensitive. So for example, imagine a mother is doing, you're trying to finish your MBA or your degree or something. Some of these degrees are grueling. So, you know, the mom is up at 3 studying. I mean, really, to expect that she's going to go and make the stuff and come back and bath. And sometimes I think as men, we need to just be sensitive and say, hey, babes, just do your studies. I got this, you know. And so she's able to do that without that pressure. Sometimes there's evening classes. You don't expect she's going to be in the evening class, come home and then start preparing food for all of you. Now, come on. Let's be a bit empathetic, really. Just a bit. But we'll talk more next week when we come back.
Yeah, so next week's topic is balancing being a parent and entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So for now, keep moving forward, failing forward. You're within your purpose. When you're within your purpose, everything just happens.
That's right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we end the call.
Yes. Thank you.